Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a really cool breakthrough that's happening right where advanced medicine meets environmental science. We're talking about making our most powerful drugs safer, while also making the whole process safer for our planet.
But, to really get why this new solution is such a big deal, we have to understand the problem it's solving. So let me ask you, what do you think is the invisible threat that could be lurking in our most cutting-edge medicines?
Well, the answer takes us into the super high-stakes world of biotherapeutics. This is a field where making sure a product is absolutely 100% pure isn't just a goal, it's a matter of life and death. Now, these are not your average pills. Biotherapeutics are these incredibly complex proteins that are actually grown inside living cells. They are amazing at fighting tough diseases, but because they come from a biological system, they have a very unique challenge.
And that challenge is the risk of viral contamination. See, during the whole manufacturing process, there's always this small but constant danger that viruses could sneak into the batch. And that's a huge, huge problem, because these medicines are often for patients whose immune systems are already weak. The purity has to be perfect, no exceptions.
So how do they guarantee that level of purity? Well, the last line of defense, and honestly the most important one, is the virus filter. The best way to think about it is like an ultra-fine microscopic net. It's designed to physically catch any viruses, which are bigger, while letting the much smaller medicine proteins slip right on through. It's the final, crucial safety check.
Okay, but here's where the story takes a twist. This amazing piece of safety tech, it comes with a hidden cost, an environmental one. There's kind of a dirty secret behind how these essential filters are made.
Yeah, for decades, making these filters has required using some pretty nasty, powerful solvents that come from petroleum. These chemicals are toxic, they're bad for the environment, and they produce a ton of hazardous wastewater. So there's this weird irony, right? The process that protects patient health has been actively harming the planet's health.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you see the solvents we've been stuck with. Toxic, petroleum-based, just not great. And on the right, that's the dream. That's the goal. Something that's bio-based, biodegradable, and just way, way friendlier to the earth. The difference is pretty stark when you see it side by side.
So, this is where the real innovation kicks in. A team of researchers decided they weren't going to settle for a compromise. They wanted to engineer a solution that was genuinely better all around. A filter that's not just greener, but actually performs better too.
And the big breakthrough here all comes down to one key ingredient, a green solvent called GBL. Now, what's so great about GBL is that, unlike those old toxic solvents, it's bio-based, you can make it from renewable stuff, and it's biodegradable. It's just a much cleaner, more sustainable foundation to build on.
And this quote, it just nails the core idea. Using this new green solvent allowed them to create the absolute perfect internal structure. They were aiming for what they call a macro-void-free, sponge-like design. Basically, that means creating a really dense, uniform, microscopic sponge without any big, useless holes in it. That structure is the secret sauce for trapping viruses effectively.
The process for making it is actually pretty elegant. You just mix up the green recipe, spread it out into a super thin liquid film, and then you dunk it in water. And that's where the magic happens. The solvent washes out, and what's left behind is that perfect, porous, virus-trapping sponge. It's a process that's totally designed to be scaled up for real-world manufacturing.
Okay, so making a greener filter is one thing. That's a huge win. But here's the million-dollar question. Does it actually work? Is it as good as, or maybe, just maybe, even better than the filters we already use? Well, it's time to put it to the test. So, when they tested it against actual viruses, the new filter achieved a removal rate of over 99.99999%. In the industry, they call that a log reduction value of over 7. That is an incredibly high level of safety that meets and even exceeds the strictest standards out there. But this is where my mind was blown. The speed. Not only is the new filter super effective, it is ridiculously fast. Because of that unique sponge structure, it lets the medicine flow through up to 20 times faster than current commercial filters. That's not just a small improvement, that's a massive leap forward.
So let's just look at the final scorecard here, the showdown. Virus removal? Excellent, ties the best. Flow rate? Come on, up to 20 times higher. Protein transmission, how much of the good stuff gets through? Over 96%, same as the standard. And virus capacity, how many viruses it can trap before it gets clogged? It's actually higher. This thing is a clean sweep.
So what does this all mean for the future?
This is so much more than just a cool finding in a lab. This is a practical solution that could have some really profound effects on how we make our medicines and how we treat our planet.
Let's break down why this matters so much. Faster production? That means getting life-saving drugs to patients who need them faster. The higher efficiency could also lead to lower costs, which might make these expensive drugs more affordable. It's a gigantic step towards a truly sustainable pharmaceutical industry. And the best part? It's already been proven at a pilot scale, which means this is ready for the big leagues. At the end of the day, what this research gives us is a solution that doesn't force a choice between performance and sustainability. It totally delivers across the board. You get incredible speed, top-tier safety, and a genuinely green manufacturing process. And that leaves us with one last really exciting question to think about. If we can use this kind of green chemistry to reinvent something as complex and as critical as a virus filter, what comes next? Could this sustainable by design way of thinking completely revolutionize how all of our medical devices and medicines get made? The potential here is just enormous.